Welcome to It's a Woman's World, a show which looks at any and all topics under the sun from a woman's point of view. Hosted by Junita Cathey, and here's Junita.
Welcome to It's a Woman's World. My name is Junita Cathey, and joining me today are my co-hosts, Uma Junga.
Hello, Junita.
Hello. Dr. Susan Strauss.
Howdy, Junita.
Hello. Nadia Giordana.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. And Nava Johnson.
Hey.
I'm so excited to be here today. Today we're going to actually spend some time talking about friendship.
Great.
And I think a good way to start it is to talk a little bit about what friendship means to each of us. When you think of friendship, what do you think? What does it mean?
I think it has a lot to do with developing a relationship with someone where you can have trusting conversations.
Mm-hmm.
That they'll accept you, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Definitely. When you're having some trouble, they should be there to help you out.
Trust. Yeah, trust is very important. And being comfortable with them and feeling confident that they're not just going to leave. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
that, you know, like how family is, like that support.
Support,
Like
yes.
feeling like, you know, hey, my friend's like my sister. Like, you know, I trust her. And even though sometimes we fight, I still love you. Like that,
Yes.
that great feeling.
And that we can fight, that there's
Right.
enough connection between us that we can be open and honest with who we are, including saying, Doggone it, I'm really ticked off at you, and knowing that you'll get through it anyway.
Right.
Good.
Yeah,
Right.
that doesn't mean that the whole relationship is over
That's
and that they're
right.
not going to be friends anymore.
Yes.
You work through it, you express your feelings, and then it's over, like it is with family members.
Yes.
Right.
They should like you for whom you are.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
That should be definitely the must thing.
Exactly. I think when we talk about friendship, we use it so casually. And I think when you start talking about accepting you for who you are and being able to fight and make up, I think that's when we start to differentiate between friends and acquaintances. A lot of times our larger circle of people tend to be our acquaintances, but that closer knit tends to be friendship. And for me, it's a true sign of friendship when I can have a disagreement. I
Yes.
don't have to agree with you all the time,
Yes.
but we still respect each other. We still grow from that.
Yes.
What do you think from that?
Yeah, definitely. Every person is different. You have a different view, about anything. I have a different view. So it doesn't mean that we are not friends, but we should be able to respect each other and understand what they are thinking about that.
And I think sometimes friendship goes, as we were talking before the show about the whole age thing. I'm older than you all, and
Except for me.
well, I'm wondering about you. You and I might be close. We're real close. But I've still got friends from when I was a kid, and we stay in touch. Email helps with doing that, but we call each other. I have my 50th high school reunion this summer, and we've just had the best time planning it. All of us that were friends, when we were 14, 15, 16, coming together, and it's like we never had that time between. So I like the idea that I've still got friends from when I was a child, as well as new friends I've developed into adulthood.
That's very true. When you're in college and high school, I think you have friends. I don't know, they're different from, the friends that you get after getting married. That's what I felt.
They
I
are
don't know, there's
different.
some-
They are different.
I don't know.
And you build different groups of friends at different stages, but
Yes.
still parts of that first group, that second
Yes.
group, that third group, parts of those still remain. There are different degrees of that friendship. Some are stronger friends, some are maybe not as much, you don't need to see as often. And that it changes and it builds as it goes along. It's kind of fun to
Definitely.
see that happen.
Right.
I was so happy to find my friend on Facebook after a long time, my childhood friend. You know how happy we just connected like this in a second. That's made me like, okay, they are really different,
Right, right.
I like that. Well, I think a true friendship is when, even if you haven't seen each other for a long time, all of a sudden
Yes.
you can just spring
Yes.
back into
Yes.
it. That's a real connection. Also, like through my college years, I've had a lot of experiences of ups and downs with friendships and figuring out who my true friends are. And like for me, it's very important to have trust, like I was saying, and like to know if I'm telling you something, you're not going to go turn around and
Yes.
talk to somebody else about it or talk behind my back. Like we have an issue, let's talk
That's
in my
important.
face. You know what I
That's
mean? Let's
very
talk about it.
important.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
also we will have friends that meet our different needs.
Right.
You know, I know that if I'm really feeling a certain way, which friend I'll call. If I'm in the mood to go out and have fun, I might call somebody else. And even with all of us, I guess I'm geared now to this high school reunion, but even all of us getting together with the planning, I tell you, we act like we're 16. It's like we pull that out of each other, and the woman that's planning it, we're giving her a special gift because she's had to rein us in because we're acting like we did when we were teenagers. We pull that out of each other, and it's been so much fun.
Yeah.
You know, they say that friends are the family that we choose. And when you think about lifelong friendships, it's sort of like family where you share a certain history or
Yes.
memories that nobody else can connect with. And so it makes that relationship that much more special. I mean, our shorter term or newer friendships are special as well. But I think there is something to say about those friendships that we've been able to maintain over time. As we change, as we grow, as we develop, our likes and dislikes change.
Definitely.
I really do appreciate some of the friendships that I've had for many, many, many
Yes.
years.
Yeah, that history, those memories, they're important. They're part of the glue, I think, that
Oh, yeah,
holds it
that's a
together.
good way to put it.
Yeah.
And I think we were talking, too, about how now that you've got children, that a lot of your friends are also mothers, for example.
Right.
And I know now, of course, part of it's my age, my friends, we're all grandmothers, and our kids have left the nest. So we have different things that we're looking for in our friends than, for example, you would just coming out of college.
I was going to say, did you all have a harder time making friends after school? Because, you know, when you're in a school environment,
Yes.
you're constantly around people over and over and over again. And then, you know, once you start your families, is
Good
it harder
question.
to, I was
Yes.
reading an article
There
about
is a
this.
gap there.
Definitely.
There's a
Yes.
gap there because school is such an environment. And when you leave, whether you go to college or whether you've gone off and gotten married or gotten a job, there's a gap there for a while. Yeah,
so.
I think it is a little
Exactly.
bit hard for a while.
Definitely. After you have kids, definitely you want to make friends with other women who have already kids so that, you know, our kids can be friends with their kids. So we'll have, you know, our kids won't get bored when we go to a group to get together.
Hey, that's,
You know,
that's
there are
great.
certain things we have to think about.
Yeah.
So it's friendship, the type of friendship changes as the life goes by.
Right.
Right.
So,
Right.
I think that we make friends then in our workplaces.
Yes.
And I think
Gotcha.
that sometimes they're just acquaintances or they're just friends at work. But I know I've got a lot of friends that I made in my various jobs that I still get together with socially. But I think the work, when I think about you graduating from college and where you start to work, I think some of those folks might become some of your friends as well. And I bet you'll keep in touch with some of your college friends.
True.
I think after college, after sort of the organized learning experience, you then have to become more deliberate. So whether it's joining interest groups, or like if you're having kids, let's say, then you start to find play groups or things where you're taking your children, but of course there's going to be adults there, and some people you'll make that lasting connection.
Yes.
Others it'll just be when you come for that 2 hours. As you're a young professional, you may start networking at different functions or events where there's other young professionals. So I think then you're a little bit more deliberate, and you start to find people that have similar likes or interests as you do, and then relationships or friendships can evolve from that point. I don't know, have you
Yeah,
found that?
definitely.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can be literally thrown together with someone in whatever situation, whether that's school, college, or work, that you wouldn't think off the top of your head you would choose for a friend, or you didn't feel that click in the beginning, and the two of you are thrown together for long periods of time or projects. Pretty soon, you're the best of friends, and it lasts for the rest of your lifetime.
Yes.
And that's a fun surprise when that
Yeah.
happens.
I think one question I'd ask you all is, do you have men that are just friends? And if so, are they very intimate friends? I don't mean in terms of a sexual intimacy, but a friendship intimacy in the same way that you may have that friendship with another woman.
I have had over time, and then you get separated and then you forget about, or you get married and your spouse is just cool to the idea. But yeah, you can have friendships like that.
Personally, I don't have as many. I think at this point in my life, a lot of your friendship becomes your support group, and they don't have to be like you or in the same stage, but they have to be able to be supportive or empathetic about some things you're going through. And I just don't have any male friends that can play that role. They are, cheerleaders, so to speak, but not where I'm telling, like, oh, this was a tough week. Could you help me out?
No, exactly. That's the right point. Because I have a singing group. I have male singers too.
Yes.
See, when we sing, when we get together, we are good friends. We talk, but it's not like something that I can confide in them, like,
It's not an intimacy that you share with your female friends. Yeah.
But they're still good friends to talk about certain things like movies,
Sure.
Share certain things, definitely.
I know some of the articles that I've read about women and men being just friends say that it's very, very difficult because the sexual component comes in there. I've got a friend that we don't have any of that sexual component. We are just good friends, and I really treasure my friendship with him. It is still very different, though, than my friendship with my girlfriends.
Still different than with women.
Yes, very much so.
But you can have also real interesting conversations.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't have with women.
Yes, we can talk about politics and those kind of, typically those are the ones they are typically interested.
And I think it does help from that completely different viewpoint. It does help us to expand our horizons, be a little bit more open-minded. Because I think about it from my relationship with my brothers. I'm very close to them. My relationship with my sisters, I'm very close to my sisters as well. But I have a different relationship with both my brothers as well as my sisters. And we talk about different things, and we support each other in different ways. Even though whenever we need each other, any one of us will, jump at it to be able to be supportive.
Yes, that's very
And
true.
generational friendships. That builds over time too, between the older generation and younger. Sometimes you'll have friendships come up that develop that way, and those can be fun and enlightening.
I've got some friends that are like 20 years younger than me, and yet we still go to the movies and hang out. And
definitely.
I like it.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I feel like, anyways, like growing up in college, I feel like a lot of times, like if a relationship between a guy and a girl, there's usually a motive. So I'm trying to date this girl, or
Yes.
Well, especially
I feel like
the younger you are,
I
the
feel
more
like that's what's
plays
going on.
into it.
I think so too. You're at that age.
But I'm like really close to my brother, and it's interesting that you're saying that I totally get what you mean, like different relationship between your brother and your sister. But actually, with my brother, I can tell him anything.
You
That's
can,
really
huh?
awesome.
And does he tell you everything?
Oh,
Yeah, we've gotten really close. We
That's
used to
good.
fight a lot, but
Yeah.
now we're like this.
That's
so.
interesting.
Yeah, so I can really tell him anything. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like sometimes, I guess, once my sister gets a little older, I'll probably be able to tell her some things more than my brother.
That's interesting
But-
because I share with my sister a lot of shopping. We go shopping,
Yeah.
and I think I share different things with my brother and my sister.
Yeah, and my father too. I can tell him anything either. I think. Well, he's a sensitive man. I don't know, like
That's
sometimes-
nice.
That's nice.
like
really
he can
nice, yeah.
understand my emotions, or I don't know. I guess it just
Yeah.
depends on the person.
Definitely, it
does,
depends on
it does.
personality too.
Yeah.
It's nice to be able to be friends when you're interacting with family too. It's nice to
Right.
have both those.
Right, it's true.
I think some of this, what I'm hearing is that with the friendships, whether it's with, male, female, or intergenerational, or just with, people that share similar interests, they have to be developed. Like it's so over time, where you are in the beginning of a friendship, as you grow, you'll start to develop it, and there will be more trust where you can cry with that friend, laugh with that friend.
Swear with that friend.
Yes, I mean, and you get to a point where you don't feel judged. It just
Yes.
feels, I think friendship is just priceless,
Yeah.
It keeps us going.
right?
Yeah, we can't survive alone.
I don't think we can either. Well, there's been research that suggests that when
Yeah.
you're isolated and you don't have friends, you're more prone to depression, you die younger, you're more prone to
Exactly.
Alzheimer's disease, cardiovascular disease. So they literally keep us alive in many respects.
That's very
So
true.
it might
You
be
should-
harder for shyer persons if they're having trouble developing friendships. It's going to be a little more difficult for someone who isn't quite as outgoing and social
Yes.
to maintain those or develop them initially, probably would be more accurate.
Yeah, that's why I think Facebooks would be a great help for them because they cannot
Yes.
talk in person, but they can at
Yeah.
least, still be socially involved through Facebook and LinkedIn.
This has been a fabulous discussion topic today. I really enjoyed talking about friendship and what it means to each of us. So thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on It's a Woman's World. Coming up.